Hello and welcome to the SEGAbits Swingin' Report Show, a milestone episode number 40. And fittingly, we'll talk a little bit about the PlayStation 4 today. But first, let's go around and introduce ourselves and talk about what we've been playing. Let's start with George.
Hi. I thought this is the part where you tell everybody's name. All right.
Well, George is here. We also have Knuckles.
Hi.
And we have Shigs.
Shit's blowing up and shit.
And we have Jorge.
Yes, that's me. And I'm supposed to talk about what I've been playing, right?
Yeah, but if it's anything called Aliens Colonial Marines, you should hold off on complaining about it too much.
All right, then. Well, I played that. I'm playing that, replaying some of the chapters to get better footage. Some of the, trying to get some of that good dialogue in there.
Yeah.
Very gripping game.
Excellent.
And I've been playing The Witcher, the old one, because I want to play 1 and 2 by the time that 3 comes out.
Okay.
And I've been playing a little bit of Kane and Lynch last night, the second one, just because I wanted to see how bad it was. It came with a bundle that I got on Amazon a while back.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been playing that on the PC last night for a couple, 20 minutes. Man, that game is also terrible. I guess I like to torture myself this week. So that's what I've been playing.
Excellent. All right, let's go on to Knuckles. What have you been playing?
I have been playing Ristar for the Sega Genesis, and I've also been subjecting myself to this shitty, obscure game called Bouncers, both of which I hope to review. Oh, are you familiar with that?
I've heard of it. Not Bouncer, but Bouncers.
No, Bouncers. It's anthropomorphic basketballs.
I've heard of this, yeah.
It was a Sega-published Sega CD game developed by Core.
Sounds
the Tomb Raider guys. Oh, it is very, very awful. This is probably the worst game I've ever played on the Sega CD slash Genesis. And I've played some F&B games, so...
Very cool. And going on, let's see, Shigs?
I ended up trading in my copy of Aliens Colonial Marines already, and with that money I picked up Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch for the PS3, and that is an absolutely brilliant Japanese RPG. It's very well done. Character designs are from the anime Studio Ghibli.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just a really well done RPG. I like that. Also, the game I should have purchased and instead of Aliens Colonial Marines, I ended up renting was Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance from Platinum Games, and that is a Platinum game. I'll tell you that much right now. It's just chock full of action.
I really need to pick that up.
Yeah, even the first level alone, you're running up and down missiles that are shooting at you as you go onto the enemy and slice them into little bits.
You didn't play Dead Space 3?
No, I haven't played Dead Space 3 yet.
It's funny because the guys from Aliens, before the game came out, were saying that Aliens Colonial Marines was going to be better than Dead Space 3. That's pretty good.
I actually, I was in such an Aliens mood after Colonial Marines, I ended up picking up Aliens vs. Predator from Sega back in 2010, and that's a much better Aliens game. I mean, there's a lot of great atmosphere and scares in that one.
That's not a bad game.
No.
It just needed to be polished up, maybe 6 months in development.
Yeah, maybe Gearbox should have outsourced it to Rebellion instead of Timegate.
Yes, I agree. So we can move on. Oh, no, Barry.
Let's see, what I have been playing. I've mainly been playing All-Stars Racing Transformed on the 3DS. It's a pretty fun port of the game. My only complaint is that it cuts out some of the mini games from the World Tour mode. Now, admittedly, things like Traffic Attack and I'd have to say the Tank Battle would probably be hell on the tiny 3DS screen. But
that's actually an improvement if those are gone.
Yeah, those are gone.
I love
However,
the Tank Battle.
Tank Battle, I don't know, man. But the other two that were cut were Ring Race, where you're flying through the air, and the Drift Challenge. So really, you're down to boost challenges, races with one type of weapon, races with all weapons, races with no weapons, rival races. However, the rival races only are restricted to one rival. You don't go through a series of like 4. But at the same time, World Tour is shortened because of that. So it's not like you're playing the same number of missions, but they're all racing missions. It's more like maybe like a third of the length of the console version. So I mean, it's a mixed bag in that sense, because you're unlocking all of the racers at a really fast rate, but at the same time, you're not really enjoying it as much or taking the time to enjoy it, because you're pretty much. I think it took me about 2 hours to get up to Ages, and I haven't unlocked Ages yet. But at the same time, I'm at Ages, and I'm probably have about 11 stars to go, and it's not so much the difficulty as it is the fact that I don't want to sit there and play 12 races on my 3DS, so I've been kind of spacing it out. But I mean, aside from that, the game itself, the track layouts are all pretty much one for one based on the consoles, aside from some little like graphical elements that might have been removed. Like, I don't think Seasonal Shrines changes seasons as you play. Some other things missing are like small cameos. I don't think Rystar's in the game. If he was, you probably wouldn't even be able to see him, how tiny he is on the screen. And some other cameos, like I don't think the Burning Rangers appear on their track. However, Billy Hatcher's friends appear.
Billy Hatcher's very important in these games.
He is. But yeah, overall, I mean, if you like the core racing experience, it's pretty great. The frame rate is not super high and it's not super consistent, but at the same time, it's not game breaking at all. It's just, if you've come off of playing like a 60 frames per second or even a solid 30 frames per second game, you're going to notice the difference. But if you play through a race or two, I mean, for me personally, my very first race, I raced it almost as good as I do on the console version after playing that for hours. So, I mean, I think that's the best test you can give to a mobile port of a game, is if you can play it as well as a console version, then I think that's a good thing. Now, so, I mean, I haven't posted the review up yet, but yeah, that's pretty much it. The pluses are that it pretty much follows the game on the console version in terms of the roster and the tracks and everything. However, World Tour is a little shorter and frame rate isn't as solid, but it's a good game. If you don't have a Vita and you want to have a portable version, pick it up.
Well, that surprises me. I was going to skip out on that game altogether.
No, I'd say check it out. I mean, for the price too, and some GameStops are still giving away the silly little Danica Patrick car. So if you like freebies, there you go.
Yeah,
I have 2 of them now.
Gotta have that car. Anyway,
it's a must-own.
She won the Daytona 500 trial. She was first place with the fastest time.
Really?
Yeah, so that's a good thing.
I didn't even know she actually drove cars. I thought she just like was in those GoDaddy commercials and everybody wanted to see her naked. That's it.
I had heard that she was just a very bad driver, so I guess that was. I mean, as far as NASCAR goes,
I guess she played Transformed and got a little bit better.
Yeah, right. So I guess if we're talking about if it was good or not to bring her on, I guess at this point, at least for this brief period of time, it's good.
Good timing on Sega's part.
Yeah.
Before we move on to the news, I wanted to tell you guys a story real quick.
Go ahead.
Oh, I love stories.
The other day, I was sitting in class and I was checking the SEGAbits site in class, and this guy was sitting next to me and he kept on looking.
That's a great website.
And no, the guy was sitting next to me and he was looking at my screen the whole time. Like every time I would refresh the page or something, and he asked me like, "Do you like Sega or something?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah." And then he's like, he's like, "Okay, that's cool." And then like he kind of didn't talk that much for a little bit. And then he turned around and was talking to me about how he was having trouble with his ISP because he has Comcast and he's trying to run a server and Comcast won't let him, but he does it anyway. And I told him, "What game are you trying to run a server for?" I expected Minecraft or something. Mm-hmm. And he's like, "Oh, Phantasy Star Online."
Oh, nice.
And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, I've been running it for the last 2 years. Me and my friends play on it all the time."
That's hilarious.
So then I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And he's all, "Yeah." And then it was like a pause, and he's all, "Too bad Sega sucks now." That's it. That's all I needed, dude.
Oh,
Do
to
you
be fair, they
remember?
did just release Aliens, so.
And then I was telling him that they released Aliens, and I was trying to review it, and it fucking sucks. And then he's like, "Yeah, I'm just waiting for Phantasy Star Online 2." And he's like telling me about all these glitches he's looking out online for, like the boob glitch where they all bounce.
So
Nice.
is there still servers available for the Dreamcast one? Just like fan
Fan
made?
servers.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
fan server. A Brazilian guy has one. I forgot his name, but he
There's-
has one. He just wants his own server for him and his friends. I don't know why.
Yeah, there's fan servers for a lot of the games. I was looking online. I think there's a 4x4 Evolution one still.
Well, 4x4
Alien Fronts
Evolution
Online.
doesn't need a server.
Oh, okay.
Well, there you go. You can
There we
still
go.
play it.
Yeah. So still relevant.
Yeah.
That was my story.
Dreamcast still has online games, bitches.
I just
So
like I just like how it ended. He's like, "Oh, they suck now." Oh, all right.
So moving on to the news, Sega announced a new console. Apparently, it's called PlayStation 4.
Whoa, original.
Yeah, no, it feels weird talking about other consoles, but I figure considering that Sega will inevitably be developing games for PS4 and we don't have much more to talk about except bitching about Aliens, it might be good.
Aliens is coming out for the PS4, PlayStation 3 port.
Yeah, look out.
Oh, somebody
Is it?
somebody dropped, I think. Jason.
Hello?
No, you're
Oh.
good. You're good. Jason dropped. Poor
Ah.
Jason. Wow, wow.
Oh, poor guy.
Usually it's me.
Yeah. Anyway,
Well,
who wants to start the talk for the PlayStation 4?
Man,
Well,
you go, George. You've got things to say.
I kind of have a list of things I liked and disliked of the event.
Go for it.
Things I liked that they kind of already said, "Oh yeah, we're fucking idiots. The cell didn't work out well. Thank you." The fact that they're actually really working with third-party companies this time around, not like last generation where they pulled the Sega Saturn and said, "I don't give a fuck what you guys think."
Really?
Well, PlayStation 3,
I thought that they've always been pretty friendly to third parties.
well, a lot of third parties didn't want the Cell processor because it was too hard to develop for, and they didn't care. They did it anyway because they wanted to sell. They wanted to have their own like sell chip so they could sell to other companies on computers. They wanted everybody to adopt their way of doing things, and it wasn't going to work
Yeah,
out.
they do that a lot.
So that didn't work out. So I'm glad they're using a PC infrastructure like the 360.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they have 8 gigabytes of RAM. That's ridiculous for just games.
Mm-hmm.
I like the new controller, sort of. I think the blue light is freaking stupid. It's going to be like the 6-axis again.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like they put it on there just in case. And
Yeah, I mean they're still using the Move controller for God's sake.
yeah, they're still using the which looks actually.
There's nothing
actually,
wrong with that.
yeah, I mean, it's going to be I don't know. Fuck the Move controller. I don't want to talk about that. But I like that they showed that they have a new take on Infamous. It's like a brand new game. You don't have to play the old ones. Though that game did not look very next gen. Like the hair and the women, the hair on the woman they show in that trailer, they look like straight out of Yakuza games. Like the hair. It's like, all right. The other stuff that they showed looked nice, but it could have been rendered on a PC. Sony's already notorious for doing that.
Well, the Watch Dogs demo was on the PC.
Which Ubisoft always does. I mean, I wasn't surprised when they announced that that's what it was because I kind of already knew it was on PC because Ubisoft does that with the Assassin's Creed franchise. Like when they show the PS3 version, it's a PC version they show. Or the 360 version. It always looks nicer when you see it on the events because it's running on PC, and then they just tell you it's a 360 version or a PS3 version. Diablo 3, I don't care about.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was an okay event for the first unveiling or the first teaser,
Yeah.
but it just made me want more, and I guess that's the point, right?
I guess.
Yeah,
I mean, the way I looked at it, I mean, I know I am a 360 owner, but when it came time for me to buy between a PS3 or a 360, I mean, I had a 50-50 chance. It all came down to money. So it's not as though I'm like a PlayStation hater or anything. I just adapted for one and never got into the other. But I mean, what do you guys think about backwards compatibility? Because I mean,
want it. I always want it.
I have a
Yeah.
Okay, here's my thing. I don't mind it doesn't play PS3 games, but now they're saying that it won't play PSN games.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Sony
Well,
said that you might have to keep your PS3 to play PSN games. That's the rumor going around.
okay, that's a bit of a buzzkill.
That's a huge.
They said might though, right?
They said
I don't-
might, but it seems like
Okay.
because
It's
they're all.
probably going to be a thing like with the 360 where select games will work and select games
God.
won't.
It's terrible. I have like 100 PSN games. That's not good.
I mean,
It's terrible.
regardless if
I
they're
saw the massive 60 gig PS3 from 2006. I don't know. You realize how much room this thing takes up, and now they want me to buy another one.
You
Yeah,
probably have to do this to keep the costs cut down.
yeah, because the PSN
Yeah.
games were programmed to work on, I guess, the cell.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. At the end, if they're on PSN or if they're on disc, they're still made for the PlayStation 3. So I really don't think there's any way that any of the games. I mean, I could maybe see some of like the really small, like 16-bit, like Sega games, things like that, not having a problem. But anything that's like made especially for, I don't know. The way I saw it was that I completely understand that hardware-wise, it's very difficult to have the PlayStation 3 games play on the PlayStation 4. But at the same time, when you look at the jump from 1 to 2 in terms of PlayStation and then 2 to 3, I feel like 3 and 4, well, there is a big graphical leap, even though you don't see it a lot. Everything else is kind of the same. Like they both play Blu-rays, they both do
Yeah.
all of your media streaming, they both will be connected to your PlayStation ID.
I think.
And so,
Okay.
well, I just think that it's kind of I can't imagine I can't imagine, but you look at your shelf and you got your PlayStation 3 and your PlayStation 4. The only thing your PlayStation 3 is good for is playing your PlayStation 3 games. Meanwhile, your 4 will now be doing everything that you've been doing on your 3, but you can't really put your 3 away because you can't play your 3 games on the 4. And so it's kind of like I
And you
completely
can't sell it.
understand.
I think what
Yeah,
I think what Sony's trying to do is trying to make the PS3 compete against the Wii U and still
Yeah.
sell units and like drop it low, and
Yeah.
have the PS4 compete against the whatever the Microsoft has going on.
Well, when they say might, they might mean that that means that there's a possibility. So what they might be doing is they may be working on some sort of external dongle that you can buy separately that does backwards compatibility. And if they can do that, I would be very happy.
I think the best thing for both parties or everybody, just have a cheaper model that just plays PS4 games, and have a more expensive model for people that want to play PS3 games.
Those multiple that whole multiple SKU thing never really seems to work. I mean,
Not really.
PlayStation 3 had a $500 model too, and people said, "Oh no, it's $600, $600 US," and
That's true.
they just completely ignored the $500 model. I didn't, for the record, though. I ended up regretting it when I realized, oh hey, I need Wi-Fi.
Yeah. I still think Microsoft has a big, they can still knock it out of the park. I'm just hoping they don't go crazy and go, it's called Kinect 2. It's not even an Xbox no more. No controller at all.
Really.
And I'd be all like, yeah, I hope they don't do that. I hope they go
And if
hardcore gaming with
If
it.
any of the rumors are true with them keeping used games from happening and keeping your games attached to your hardware, that would kill it. Or having it with DRM where it has to be online all the time,
I think
that
they're
would kill
playing
their sales.
I think they're playing a game of chicken with PlayStation or with Sony because I think didn't Sony have, or at least they have the technology to block used games. They've had it for years.
Well, they
They've
had a
had
it-
patent on
Well-
it, but just haven't used it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they-
and I
The
think
technology to block used games is to just give every individual game a key. That tech's been around for years.
yeah,
So
and I think at the
It
same
hasn't been
time
applied to consoles.
Microsoft has that tech now, and I think they were just waiting to see what Sony's move was. If Sony said, "Yep, we're blocking used games," then I think Microsoft would have done the same. Now,
Yeah,
it would make no sense for them to come out and say we're blocking used games because then they
that would be
lose.
really stupid.
I
That'd be
mean-
a really stupid thing for them to do.
they're,
If we're here complaining about not playing PlayStation 3 games on a 4, can you imagine not being able to play any used games on your Xbox?
that pretty much kills all your PS3, your 360 games, because to them that would be used.
yeah.
I doubt it would
have a-
apply to 360 games, but regardless, if they were to institute some sort of anti-used game model, they better drop the price of those games to $20-$30, because once they do that, their software loses all value.
Here, this is exactly what I'm saying. If you want to beat used game sales, you don't block used games. What you do is you offer competitive pricing on your digital games, And then when you buy it, and then you'll be more inclined to buy it digitally. Okay, GameStop sells brand new games used for $55, $5 less. You go and let's say PSN had them for $50 right when they came out. Why would you spend the extra $5 to go to GameStop, waste your gas, talk to some stupid fucking asshole that works there, and buy the game?
Somebody needs to tell that to Microsoft. If you go on their on-demand games, they have 5-year-old games that are still $30 to $40 that you could pick up used for like 12 to 15 easily.
Exactly.
That was a problem on the Vita until recently. They had some PSP games that are still going for $40, and it's like, fuck no. But now they've finally given them a price cut. So
we use very good at
catching
that.
On.
Yeah, if you price cut your digital games to be lesser than used games, you'll pick up cash, and those games that those people buy cannot be traded in. So you'll pretty much hurt the used market the way you're trying to do, and pick up money in the same time.
And really, forget even discounts. I mean, look at what Sony's doing with PlayStation Plus. That is the perfect way to combat used games, because for $50 you're given access to dozens of games for free, dozens more games for a reduced price, sometimes a temporarily reduced price. It's a perfect way to eliminate the used game problem.
The one thing with PlayStation Plus, though, is it kind of makes you want to not buy brand new PlayStation games.
That is kind of
true.
They
basically figure they'll be coming up on PS Plus soon, like Little Big Planet karting. That went down to 10 for a while on PlayStation Plus, and the chances of that being free like later in the year are pretty high.
I was having second thoughts about Sly Cooper.
But it's gotten good reviews, so that's pretty good at least.
No, second thoughts getting it before it inevitably becomes free on PlayStation Plus.
Oh, yeah. I think what Sega should start doing is, like, when a game becomes old, like, let's say 3 years down the road, and nobody's going to buy that game anymore, and they're going to make a sequel to that game, just throw it up on PSN Plus for free, and then...
Well, it's kind of what they did this week. Vanquish is up on PlayStation Plus.
No Vanquish 2, sadly.
Yeah.
And House of the Dead Overkill debuted on PSN Plus for Halloween last year.
Oh, that's true.
Still haven't actually played it, but I still bought it.
So what did you? What's that game called? The first game they showed, I forgot what it's called, but it's from Studio Japan.
God damn it. Knack, yes.
That game was the best looking game in my opinion. That sold me right there. I like the fact that Sony this generation isn't like all games have to look realistic like they did last PS3. Because that game looked like a nice Pixar inspired.
Yeah, kind of looked like a computer animated Cartoon Network show or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I liked it.
It sounded a bit like one too. I'm not sure that's good or bad yet, but it was definitely the most exciting game that they debuted there.
Yeah, I mean that, and if that's a launch title, it's gonna be hard for me to resist.
So for me, the big appeal for Sony now and in the future is going to be how much love they show towards indie games. I mean, one of the highlights of the show was The Witness. That looks spectacular, and that's debuting on PlayStation 4 before anything else.
Did you hear that you could self-publish on PSN now? Meaning you don't need a publisher, which is huge.
I think Sony's the first console maker to do that.
We could make a game, Barry, me and you.
Let's do it. SEGAbits RPG.
There you go. We play as Jason and me in a party.
Chicken sandwiches are power-ups.
We gotta unlock AJ, but like the game turns M-rated right away when you find AJ.
His big attack is cursing up a storm.
One thing I really liked was some of the features on the PS4.
That was
some of the online features,
thing.
like the share button, being able to.
I'm turning that shit
record.
off. I'm turning that off. By the way, I don't.
Aw.
My
Really?
internet sucks as it is. Can you imagine me sharing bullshit? Fuck.
But I want to stalk you.
Recording 15 minutes of your footage and putting it on YouTube, and
Me in my
being able to
underwear
put
playing Burnout?
commentary, that's pretty badass.
So
And you know what?
who wants to see
It's gonna-
people in underwear playing video games?
No. You'll
It's
be
gonna be a
recording
real boom.
your game, not you.
You could record yourself as well. They showed that on the corner. Like
It's going to be a real
That's
boon
weird.
for amateur reviewers like us too, because we can just record some of our gameplay and slap it on one of our reviews.
They haven't said that they're going to let you take it out of the PlayStation 4, but I'm assuming
they
they
said
will.
you could put it on YouTube, didn't they?
Okay, then never mind. You can.
One of the cool things is I like it also is if someone's playing a game you're interested in, you don't have yet, you can actually go and stream video and watch them playing it live and talk to them.
That's cool. I like that kind of stuff.
It's pretty sweet, yeah.
I can only imagine the creepy scenarios that can create them. Hey, Jason.
What do you think of it?
Jump up there. Jump.
Well, it does have a camera. What do you guys think of the new controller? The slightly different controller.
Looks neat.
I think they added a lot of stuff that we're never going to use, like the touchpad.
Yeah, I don't get the touchpad thing, but I do like the top of the analog controllers are concave now instead of having that sliding feeling that the old Sony controllers said.
Yeah, and I also hope they're tight. They're like tighter because
God, especially the R2, L2 buttons of the PS3, they just slide off my fingers real bad.
Yeah,
that's why a lot of first-person shooters had to switch the buttons because people didn't like to use those L2, R2 buttons at all.
Yep, they supposedly are a lot better. It seems like everything that people have been complaining about at PSN, they've already decided to take it to the next level. Like before, the sharing the experience was on 360, where you could watch Netflix with people and you could cross game chat with people. Now you could record your gameplay and actually have them they could actually play for you through the internet. They said.
One of the things I also liked is how they're planning to cut the downloading times and the patching times.
Exactly.
Quite a bit.
Yes, that was the biggest complaint.
Yeah, the whole recommendations thing is going to be pretty awesome. I mean, you just buy a game and they know you already wanted it, so bam, it's just on your system.
Now let's talk about the negative stuff. Killzone is Killzone, I guess.
Killzone looked kind of boring.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, the architecture of the city looked gorgeous, but it looked like just kind of a shinier PS3 game.
Yeah.
It looked like a
Killzone
very
2 demo, except even more high res.
Yeah, like way cleaner, like no jaggies. The textures look way more clean.
Better lighting.
And better explosions and effects for sure.
And more detail on the hands.
On the city actually looked real because when you play the PS3 versions, it's like very fake. You could tell. But
that's the one problem I was gonna say is it felt like a Call of Duty demo on a high-end PC. It's like I'm still getting the same experience that I would get on a PS3 in any of these games shown, only with slightly better graphics and better lighting. Really.
That was kind of really the only big negative about the show for me was that the graphics were prettier, but it didn't feel like a next-gen thing. I mean, hopefully we'll see better stuff at E3. Because, we only saw just a couple things here. So.
But, I mean, you got to wonder when are we going to hit that wall where it's just the shadows look a little better and the particles look a little better. And also you got to wonder.
I guys got to
I know we may be getting there because that car demo, the guy was talking about for the first time we can render individual threads and accurately reflect the lighting. I'm like, all right.
Your game looks fucking. I was just thinking to myself, you're fucking boring. This game looks fucking boring. That's what I was thinking. Where's the blonde bitches? Why can't I have a blonde girl next to me in a Ferrari driving down?
The stupidest moment of the whole thing was when that guy came out on stage, and I thought he wasn't a part of the show. I thought he just came out of the audience, and he was like, when I was a boy in 1999, I was at a protest, and I was thinking he was like protesting the Dreamcast release or something.
I thought it was some sort of Occupy Wall Street thing.
Yeah, and he was like, and I thought police were good, but they beat me. And I learned that day that police are bad.
Are assholes.
And I was like, all right, so what's the game about? And he's like, that's what got me thinking. And I'm like, the one thing that pisses me off is the stories that they go into before they present the footage. They're like, you are a mercenary. Your name, Hugo Cloud. The setting, and they just go on and on. I don't know.
Show the fucking game.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't can you imagine back in the day when they were like showing off Space Channel 5 and they just showed it off. They were like, look, dancing game. They
you
weren't
are
like,
ooh la la.
The year 3050. You, a news reporter. Your name, it's like, just get to the game. It's a dancing game. It's a shooter. Don't tell the stupid. Oh, it's just.
Oh hell,
nonsense.
SEGAbits did better than that. At their booth, they had all those dancing girls up on the,
That's all you
these
need.
little go-go platforms and everything. They
I
had
wish I could have
Jet
been
Set
around
Radio.
that.
They had people on rollerblades.
Yeah,
It's
Xbox had Bill Gates and The Rock, right?
I was thinking like all these people are all talking about invasion of privacy and like, well, what everybody's concerned about. Then they're like, don't worry, the PlayStation 4 records everything you do and sends it to Sony so they can know what you want. And I'm like, what? What the fuck? You guys are making games they're against what Sony's all about right now. So it was weird.
Nonsense.
What?
But then the moment he said, well, so what if people had power? It says, oh, it's infamous, isn't it? And yeah.
That's what I loved about it. He's telling this cop story, and then he goes, but what if you had superpowers? What would you do? And I'm like, I'd go on a rampage and kill everyone, because that's what your game's about, right? Yeah, pretty much. Like, I would be like, I'd probably use it for good, not be an asshole like the guys in your game. Killing cops.
Actually, Infamous is supposed to be about choosing if you want to be good or bad, but you're still kind of like it's always grayish.
Yeah.
I try to be good, but I just love killing civilians so much. Chasing them down, smacking them, electrocuting them. I'm really cruel like that.
So you torture the NPCs? That's no good.
As much as the game allows.
Hopefully the PS4 has better torturing devices.
Yes. Maybe a Manhunt 3 or 4 or whatever number they're up to.
But, yeah, that's it. That's all I have to say with PS4. Barry.
Yes.
You like how they did not show the console?
I love that. In fact, I thought it was hilarious when I was waiting for the show to start. I was thinking how funny it was with the Wii U, how they showed the gamepad but never the console. And I was like thinking it would be kind of funny if they just showed the controller and never showed and it happened. And I'm just waiting for Microsoft to show us a controller and not show us a console at E3. It's going to be fun.
In the end, it's a box. It's a box where you play your games on, basically.
What
and
if they blew
It's a box that hopefully looks kind of sexy and curvy like a woman.
What if they blew our minds and told us that the controller was the console and all the hardware was in there? That would blow your mind.
What happens?
My guess is it's just not ready to show yet. They probably don't have the final design on the...
Yeah,
no,
typically game consoles at this point, they're just like a big PC box and that's about it.
I wonder how big it's going to be. Like, dude, I'm hoping it's not going to be huge. It's like, it's 3 feet tall, the console, and it's like, what the fuck? It's a box. It's a huge-ass box.
You've seen that blue light on the back. That's a portal, and it actually leads to the console on the controller.
Oh, it's all blue. It's one big blue LED light.
Yeah, you put the disc in the portal, which goes into the console, which is somewhere else.
I heard the blue light works with the camera, and it's actually like an extra move controller kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what he said too. So, like, let's say you're using it as a move controller, it'll actually track it. It just sounds like it's 6-axis wanted to be a piece of shit again.
Yeah.
They used it on that Drive game. They were moving it side to side like the Wii. It's stupid. I hate all that bullshit. It's all stupid.
Barely any games used 6-axis last gen.
Yeah, it was stupid. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, it was a nice quick gimmick in Resistance, but I grew bored of it pretty quickly.
So, okay, so now that we talked about that, you guys want to talk about the Sega Note PCs?
Let's talk about what matters. Yeah, the Sega Note PCs. Sega has answered the call. They're making a new console. It's called the Sega Note PC. It's a rebranded laptop available only in Japan that costs a buttload of money, but it looks pretty cool. And I'm sure some people will waste money on it. I think it's cool, but,
I would have been brought over here.
Yeah, I would have bought one for sure, but that's too bad they don't want my money. Especially when they competitively priced it.
Yeah, right.
I wish.
Well, I'm sure you could buy like a sticker or shell to put over it. I mean, for all intents and purposes, it's just a laptop with Sega coating on it.
It's a laptop with a fucking Dreamcast or Sega Saturn or Sega Mega Drive thing on it. It's awesome.
Yeah, I wonder how hard it would be.
Master System.
I bet you I could make one of these. It wouldn't be too hard.
But it wouldn't be real.
Yeah, I know, but not everybody in my class would know that.
Thing, man.
Now, is one more powerful than the other, depending on whether you get the Genesis, the Saturn, or the Dreamcast?
They all have the Genesis one has the power of the Genesis. The Dreamcast one has the power of the Dreamcast.
I think if you buy any of the lower end models, you get your pick of one of the four, and if you buy the top end, you get all four covers. So, yeah. I mean, it's nothing amazing, but it is still pretty cool that you got some hardware out there that you can actually, it's been mentioned, you can play the Sega PC games on it, so you're pretty much playing Sega games on Sega hardware. It's not Sega, made internally, but it kind of works, right?
Well, to be fair, I mean, Sega, the Dreamcast had a lot of PC parts in it, and Windows CE.
I wouldn't mind playing Phantasy Star Online 2 on it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, there you go.
The
By the way, any idea when that's coming to US? Because it's taken forever.
They were supposed to early 2013. I even emailed Sega about it yesterday, but I'm probably not going to get an answer. Obviously, they're probably still deliberating releasing it. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Honestly, if they delayed past E3, I hope that it gets an E3 booth.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
I'm sure Sony wouldn't mind showing it up on the Vita. It's not like they have that many Vita games to show off anyway.
Yeah, that's so awesome. I can't wait to get that game on the Vita.
You're gonna play it on the Vita?
Yeah. I'm a big handheld gamer, so if I ever get the chance.
You know what you're doing? You guys are talking about good games because you don't want to talk about Aliens.
Well, that's Aliens. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, there's this
we
little
have 20
game called,
minutes left, so second up.
Come on, hop on my Segway. Let's take a ride over to Aliens Colonial Marines.
This game
here.
This game is amazing.
Well, okay, first to be fair, I'm going to note I've never played it, and I don't want to bash it having not played it. So you guys go on.
I have seen I saw the E3 2011 demo, and me and Jason have both played the multiplayer. And let me tell you that they did a really, really good job hiding the fact this game is utter shit.
The multiplayer's still okay, I think, but except for when you're playing as the aliens just get shot to death.
That's why they didn't let us play as them, isn't it?
Probably.
Yeah, the aliens just feel like crap. It feels like you're just swinging wildly sometimes, and it's like very terrible, very bad. My favorite part is escape mode, which only happens to have 2 maps, and Sega's nice enough to charge you for the rest of the maps later on. I'm not paying for any more maps.
Every single season pass that's out there is just content that they would have put in the game that they decided not to so they could charge you later.
Especially this game. It's obvious in this game they tried. It's very sad.
God, it feels so unfinished. The AI is just horrible, especially O'Neill, who's with you all the time.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I went to this one room where there's a bunch of those, I forget what you call them, the mercenaries shooting at you.
Oh, the bounty hunters or whatever they're called from whatever corp.
I usually let O'Neill come in because the guy has infinite ammo and he's indestructible.
Yeah.
all your AI teammates are indestructible. You could shoot them during cutscenes and they won't react to you. But what he does instead is every time I've played this scenario, he goes back 2 rooms and just shoots at the wall.
Yeah.
I have to kill all the mercenaries myself.
He didn't get.
If he didn't shoot at the wall, the game would be too easy. See, that was a very smart design decision on their part.
That never happened to me on the PC version that badly. It happened a couple times where he would get like stuck behind cover, and then he would just start shooting at the cover. Like, oh, that's pretty cool. And the worst part is like the acting is so terrible. It's like these people got paid to do voice acting. Like,
they don't react in fear to the aliens whatsoever.
No, they just react like fucking like they don't even fucking notice them. Like, oh.
And what's crazy is, I'm sorry, what's crazy is they know the names of these alien things when they've just met them. Like 15 minutes into the game, O'Neill shouts out, "It's a lurker, get it!" Like, how do you know what it's called?
Exactly.
And that just portrays just how lazy the developers were with this game, because you don't need to use code to get voice acting right. You just need to get good voice actors and a good voice director.
Yeah, this is stuff you can't blame.
How did they screw that up?
You can't blame Timegate on the horrible writing where they're in Hadley's Hope, even though it's been nuked. They have Hicks in it, even though he was dead at the beginning of Alien 3. They have a few other things that are completely inconsistent. And not only that, though, just the writing itself is just terrible. And that's all on Gearbox's end before they ever shipped it out to TimeGate, I'm sure.
And that just blows me away because when I was sitting in on that Aliens demo, they spent about 15 minutes talking about how awesome Aliens was, and we're such big Aliens fans. You can see all these details and all these things, so you can see this is coming. I don't know why I just gave them a British accent, but at least whatever. And they acted like they were just in love with Aliens, but from what I'm hearing, there was no love here for this franchise.
Well, I mean the game fucking speaks for itself.
So yeah, the 2011 demo. That was like gorgeous. I mean, like the AI, the lighting, the atmosphere, everything about it was just remarkable. It's like, wow, this game is going to be awesome. And I did have some reservations when I saw that the Xbox or the PlayStation 3 demos at E3 2012 kind of didn't look as good, but I thought, well, they probably showed us the PC version. I guess I was wrong.
Yeah, what we ended up with was something that looked like it was made in 2006.
Partially because it kind of was.
Yeah, it looks like it's a 2006 game. That's like the best way I can describe it. Like, yeah, this would be a good-looking game in like 2006.
I mean, the lighting was okay, but it had horrible texture pop in and seemed like a low polygon count on a lot of stuff.
There was nothing special about the light. It was just light. I mean, at least in the PC version, it was just light. Like, I don't know what they. And then like it had.
I'm sure the PC version looked a lot better than the PS3 or 360 did.
Yeah. And they had the worst lens flare. Like when you look at the sun, it was terrible. It was just like, it was like hexagons. They just put like 5 hexagons, and like I was thinking to myself, did Sonic Adventure on the Dreamcast have better lens flare than this? Like, I mean, when you look up at the sun, it was terrible. I don't understand how they did that. Very terrible game. I recommend everybody to buy it.
Rent it for morbid curiosity at the best, because it is a game you'll want to riff. You'll want to point and laugh at so many parts. They're just come off so bad.
It's only 6 hours, the campaign, I would say.
Yeah.
So Jason, George, in a battle between Sonic the Hedgehog 2006 and Aliens Colonial Marines, which one is worse?
06.
I would.
2006. I still enjoyed parts of Aliens. I mean, it's mainly because of how bad it was. I kind of could laugh at it at times, and you could actually play through the whole campaign. Yeah. Multiplayer was all right. I think at the end of the day, I'd probably give it either a D+ or a C-.
06 has better music, at least.
I wouldn't give it that high of a score. I'm thinking around the D's, but I think maybe I'm going too harsh and having the. If I give it an F, I'm gonna regret it maybe, because I'm thinking that maybe I'm letting all this like drama get to me.
Yeah, that's something I'm a little concerned about. Regarding
let's talk about the drama briefly. I think the whole process of the game is kind of interesting.
Sterling has been great.
Yeah, I mean, I have my problems with him, but I'll admit he is doing a good job because he gets to hate on Sega. So. But I mean, when did they
really
get
hating
the
on Sega though?
Oh, he usually does before this.
Yeah,
but with Aliens, he's really been hating on Gearbox and God damn it!
That's my point. It's well-directed hate, and that's my question. The Sega acquired the Aliens license in 2006? I want to say.
Yeah, something like that.
It's around there, yeah.
So would you say this is like a remnant of the shitty past? I mean, I know we've talked about how much we love the third-party era in past podcasts, but I think we all admitted that the 05, 06, 07 years were probably the worst. Would you say that this game's kind of a remnant of that era?
Yeah,
probably.
I
wouldn't really say so.
This is Simon Jeffrey coming back from the grave and saying, "Fuck you guys."
Yeah.
I would say this is Sega seeing what they thought was easy money and they thought, okay, this game's halfway done. We'll give you 2 years and tens of millions of dollars. Make a good game, and then Gearbox went and made Borderlands 2 instead.
But I mean, the thing with
Borderlands
Gearbox,
1 and 2.
Yeah, they made
And there's
two
evidence
games.
that they actually funded Borderlands 1 with Aliens Colonial Marines money.
Oh yeah, Borderlands 1 was funded by the first attempt to make Colonial Marines, and then Sega found out, they canceled the game, and then they brought it back at some point. I figure after the success of Aliens vs. Predator in 2010.
I mean, I'd say, would you Sega West? I mean, they've made good decisions with developers when it comes to some of the internal teams they've bought. I mean, looking at Gearbox, they're a good developer, at least before this whole shit and before the Duke Nukem stuff. But then again, all of that was after the fact that Sega okayed.
Well, they were a decent developer, I think.
Yeah.
I think Borderlands was they got really lucky with and found a formula that really worked.
Yeah, because Gearbox has actually had a couple of shitty games aside from the other.
Yeah, I was never a big fan of the Brothers in Arms series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But to be fair, at the time they weren't known as a developer that would make a game this bad.
Oh, yes, I totally agree.
But I mean, I don't think Sega is so much to blame when you look at the past like that. I mean, I don't think they should have bought the Aliens license. It doesn't really fit the Sega brand. But they did release, a few decent games, especially in the era that they came out in with Aliens vs. Predator and what was it, Aliens Infestation or something.
I've heard great things about that.
I reviewed that game. That game's actually good.
And we also have the Creative Assembly game coming with Aliens
Which
license.
should be kick-ass.
Yeah, and so, I mean, Sega, I don't think it was a good decision, but at the same time, they've had more. It's been, 1 out of 3 has been shitty for their Alien games thus far.
Well, I think they've had like one shitty one kind of average one, and one really good one.
Yeah. But, I mean, I guess the whole, at least I point the finger at Gearbox, because they are a competent developer when they want to be, but it seems like they wanted to focus more on the games that they thought that mattered and just rush out Sega's project so they could get it done and over with.
It seemed like they were really lazy with it and just gave Timegate a good chunk of the game.
Yeah, it's almost kind of funny because this. Oh, go on.
If there's any truth to these rumors that they just took the money and spent it elsewhere, it is almost entirely their fault as far as I'm concerned. I mean, Sega probably let money get in the way of releasing quality products
well, at the end of the day, if you're spending $60 million on a game,
you want to release something. Yeah,
you're going to release it no matter what, just to get some of your losses back.
Yeah,
but I mean, like when the game was brought back, Sega probably should have kept a closer eye on it.
Mm-hmm. Well, no,
but again, I would still mostly blame Gearbox for this.
I blame everybody. Everybody, like, obviously Fox had some say in what's going on. They probably saw the Borderlands franchise and they're like, we want those guys to do it. And I'm pretty sure Sega couldn't just say, no, we're going to get our own people to do it, our own in-house team. Because the license holder also has a say in what's going on.
That's true, too.
And so obviously Fox probably wanted Colonial Marines to come out during Prometheus last year. That was supposed to be the initial release date, but
they didn't want to do that because it was too close, I guess, to Borderlands 2 as well, which is another.
Plus
the game probably was even less ready than it is now.
Of course, because I don't know. I think Sega should have said, you know what, you guys are fucking stupid. Fuck your Borderlands games and fuck your company. I would have just gotten the game and gave it to an in-house team. Like the guys from Yakuza would have done a better job.
Well, unfortunately, that's not something that's so easily done, because whenever you have to switch a team, I mean, the new team has to spend months kind of understanding the code and
they don't know what's broken.
They'd have to just go over the entire game again. I mean, I've heard stories like this where they switch developers and it's never a smooth process.
They should just let the Yakuza guys do it from the ground up on their engine.
Go for it.
Yeah, but that would have been millions of more dollars and several more years.
How much money do you think they put into Binary Domain? It can't be more than 10 million.
I'm sure it wasn't 60 million. That's for damn sure.
Imagine if the Yakuza developers had $60 million, man.
Oh
man.
God. Imagine what Sega could have done with $60 million.
It's funny because at the end of the day, right now, this game is actually pretty successful in the UK. It'll probably show pretty good on the MPD numbers here, but it'll probably end up costing them or making them less money than Binary Domain, which was a flop.
And it was a good game. It only had the aliens in it. They should have called it Aliens Binary Domain.
There.
Yeah, they should just slap the aliens license on it. That would have worked.
It's like
Xenomorphs Domain.
Are xenomorphs human? Do they have emotions? Find out. Binary Domain aliens.
I'd love to see the cutscenes of him beating an alien to death with a baseball bat.
That'd be cool.
Mommy!
A little
Don't!
alien?
That's our waiter alien.
A little
Please,
kid?
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
But, yeah. So, I mean, it's done. It's out. I think we can... I guess that's the best thing.
Pretend that it doesn't exist?
Yeah. Look forward to what's coming up. I mean, yeah. All we have to look forward to now are announcements, because I can't really think of any big games that are on the horizon that we know of. But they're out there. Yakuza 6.
I don't know. I think the only Sega game I know of that's actually coming west is Phantasy Star Online.
2.
Well,
2.
We still haven't gotten Yakuza 5, but we don't know for sure if we are or not anyway.
I think what's gonna... I assume there's gonna be a Sega Japan sort of like blowout after E3 where they're gonna show their new engine and stuff for TGS.
I'm really tempted to import that from PlayAsia, but I want to wait till E3.
I want Virtual Fighter 6. That's what I want.
Yeah. What I really hope we get at E3 is a bunch of kick-ass original, well, not original, based on Sega IP digital games. That is what I'm waiting for from Sega.
I want Microsoft to pull a Nintendo, and instead of Bayonetta 2, Microsoft is giving us Shenmue 3. I want that.
Oh, God, please. Oh, man, Microsoft would win back so much of my love that they've lost over the last few years.
Do you remember, I mean, not to get too off topic, but do you remember when Shenmue 2 was coming out on Xbox? And, like, it was just like common knowledge that, like, well, I mean, Shenmue 3 is going to be out on Xbox, so that's good, right? And I remember telling my friends, I was like, yeah, I can't wait for the third one. I mean, it's going to be Xbox exclusive, so that's going to be cool. I own an Xbox.
Funny thing is, they've actually released screenshots from Shenmue 3.
I know.
You know what would be cool? If they're on stage and shit, they show all their games, and then in the end it turns black, and it's like just like a stupid like, get out here, schoolboy, and it's like it's Shenmue 3, and it's like, what the fuck?
If they were to make a Shenmue 3,
saying terrible voice actors now though,
I'd be like, man, now I got to buy another Xbox console.
If they were to make a Shenmue 3, would you want them to use the old voice actors?
yeah. I would want an option. Like I would want an option where you could just like have the cheese there. Like I would want 2 versions, one revoiced and one like reusing the old actors for fun.
Because they're so static and robotic.
Hey, mister, you want to wrestle?
Oh, that reminds me of the Metal Gear Rising. I'm in the second area. They got a kid who's got this Jamaican yo-yard man accent, and except it's totally obvious that it's played by a man because it's supposed to be like this 8-year-old kid, and he has this deep adult voice when he's talking to Raiden. He's like, "Oh yeah, man, go ninja, go."
So it's Tom's kid.
No, it's one of these kids are being experimented on to escape. But yeah, he sounds like he's got a really, really deep voice. It's funny.
Nice.
So that's Platinum for you. They can get away with being a little bit silly and still be real enjoyable.
Do you think there'd be a market for Shenmue 3? Realistically, like we're in the era where if you've seen like most like even Microsoft events or Nintendo events. Or not Nintendo events, but Sony events and other publisher events, it's always a war started, and it's like very rough men, I guess, with moral, were gray moral values. who have to go to war, or it's like a super casual game. It's like that's like what they always like to show.
God.
Well-
if there is ever a Shenmue 3, it's going to be an episodic digital game. At
I
least that's
think
my prediction.
the direction the game
That would
was
be the way
going
to make it
was,
back. Yeah.
it was getting into that kind of gritty one man versus an entire evil gang kind of thing in the slums.
Oh, so you think they should have guns and stuff? And it's like the first time it's like Ryu, and he's talking about the first time he used the gun, and he's in World War III.
I think Rio should carry that sword from the end of the second one around for the rest of 3 and slash people, just like Metal Gear Revengeance.
Yeah, I just have.
I don't know. I mean, has Ryu ever actually killed anybody?
No.
No. Well, he kicked that creepy guy into the ocean, didn't he? At the end of the first one?
Yeah.
But that's actually the whole point of the game. It's like, would him getting his revenge on Landy be the same thing that what Landy's doing, kind of a thing? It's it's supposed to be about hate, revenge, just being revenge. Like just
we've
repeats
talked
itself.
about this in another podcast where we basically figured that Landy wasn't bad and that Rio's father was actually the man who really fucked things up. Kind of like a Harry Potter Professor Snape kind of twist.
Fucking Harry Potter stealing everything from Shenmue. Always,
I know. Man. They got 7 Harry Potters and only 2 Shenmues.
Well, I wouldn't mind him
Yeah, but those 2 Shenmues kick Harry Potter's ass.
That's true.
I don't know. I have to disagree with that. A young wizard boy. I don't even want to talk about Harry Potter. Let's not talk about Harry Potter.
So are you just going to add Shenmue discussion to the back of the list of subjects?
No more Shenmue discussion.
No more. I think we've actually reached the end of our show.
Oh yeah, this is the end of the show. I guess we'll see you guys whenever we see you guys, probably in 2 weeks. Yeah, right?
That's
2
the
weeks.
plan.
We're doing this bi-weekly now.
Yeah, because there's no news.
No homo, bi-weekly. All right then. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
All right, later.
Later.
See ya.